You may be aware that C++ language was developed on the top of a C language, and the main reason for developing C++ from C was to add the object-oriented programming feature. And then struct was present in C language. As you change it to C++, the struct was enhanced, and then we now call it class. Class is the appropriate term in object-oriented programming. So from now on, I'm going to mainly use a class instead of struct. Struct and class is pretty much the same. The difference is only one thing. So if I change struct to class, most of the things work fine except that the access mode. Here access mode means that as you can see, ID name balance becomes error, and the reason is that it says the member bank account ID is inaccessible. That is and when you define a class, the members becomes private. Private means those members are accessible within the current class only, but I'm having access to them outside the class, but in main function. So that's the access violation. So as I change from struct to class to make it compatible with the struct, one thing I need to do is give a public declaration. So inside the class or struct, you can define whether those members are a public access or private access. So by default, if I don't give a public declaration, those are private, so we have error. But as I change the mode to public, and access is allowed, so that outside the class it works. So at this moment, if I change it back to struct, there is no problem at all. It's a completely compatible. So struct default access is a public, so you don't have to give a public. But in class, the default access is a private, so you change it to public, that all the program works fine. So let me check, compile the program and runs. Everything works fine. But to use a class as object-oriented programming, we are going to do more than simply changing the access into public. We'll study that in next video.